The time is 53:30. Alright. So, honor talents, guys, for Shadow Priest. Or normal talents and honor talents in general. Twist of Fate, because it just gives you a flat 20% damage increase whenever you do damage to a target guy. To a target that has below 35% health. So pretty much just does a ton of damage. Body and Soul for the movement speed. Mind Bomb for the stun, Lingering Insanity for the haste, or Reaper of Souls for the Shadow Word Death. You can use it at 35%. I like Lingering Insanity because it just gives you a lot of haste. You can use Void Ray as well, but I don't use it that much. For 75 talents, you can take Sand Lane, which will increase the damage of your Vampiric Touch and the healing done by your Vampiric Embrace by 20%, so you have that option there. You can also use Shadowy Insight, which is usually my go-to, which gives your Shadow Word Pain a 10% chance to reset the remaining cooldown to Mind Blast and cause it to be instant cast. So you'll get a ton of instant cast Mind Blast, and that's why I use that talent. I use Misery here because it lets you use Vampiric Touch, and it automatically applies your other dot, which is Shadow Word Pain, so I've never really gotten out of Misery. And Legacy of the Void is the talent you want to go here as well, because it gives you 5% damage increase and causes your Void Eruption to be used.
You plagued yourself.
I'll look at that in a little bit. Void Eruption may be cast at level 60, at Insanity level 65, which means it just lower cast thing to put, or lower requirement to be cast, and increases your shadow damage by, I think, 5%. And then Honor Talents, Mind Quickness, gives you free haste. Void Shield gives you a heal whenever you use your Shadow Word Shield, or Power Word Shield, which is used quite a bit, so pretty much lets you heal a decent amount whenever you use that. Void Origins, because it lets your Void Eruption be instant cast, pretty strong. Psychic Link, because your Mind Blast and Void Bolt will now be damaged to 30%. 30% damage to every target afflicted by your Shadow Word Pain, so that synergizes very well with Misery. Honor Talents, I like Siphoned because it does 2% of the target's total health and reduces healing by 50%. With this talent row, for arenas, you want to take Shadow Mania instead of Psychic Link. For this talent row, I just always take Void Origins. For this talent row, you can either take Void Shield or Pure Shadow. Pure Shadow for arenas, Void Shield for Battlegrounds is what I say. And let's see the donation. NATO Savix, thanks for the 20 bucks, man. I have no idea what to write here. Well, I don't know how to reply to that then. You could have wrote anything. You could have wrote, I have got a small PP. You could have wrote literally anything, but you know. I don't know, man. Next time. You'll get them next time, man. I believe next time you donate, you'll actually know what to write there. But anyway, man. Thanks for the 20 bucks. Much appreciated. So, Shadow Priest rotation. The flag carries over there, guys. I'm gonna stun this guy here with Mind Bomb, Spear Bomb, Mind Bomb. He might cloak it. Never mind, he's too stupid. So again, I'm gonna apply all my dots to all these guys because applying my dots does give me insanity. And then I'm going to Mind Flay this guy just to slow him and generate insanity. So apply your dots to everyone. Use your Void Eruption, use your Void Bolt on top of that Void Eruption, use Mind Blast whenever it is procced. I'm gonna use Siphon on this guy for the healing reduction. He did cloak, so I'm just going to reapply my dots. Just kidding, gonna get stunned. I'm gonna get taken out of my Void form here, so that's not a horrible thing, but it is just gonna be reduced damage, so not a huge deal. Healer didn't cast there for some reason. I will silence the priest here as well, just so he won't be able to cast. I believe he did trinket it there, otherwise he wouldn't be casting right now. I will get stunned again. I'm going to use Void Eruption here as well for the damage and the Void form damage increase and the new abilities, and everyone will just kind of fall over. So, I mean, that's Shadow Priest. It's not too hard. I'd say the basic gist of Shadow Priest is putting Vampiric Touch on everyone, putting Shadow Word Pain on everyone, using Mind Blast whenever it is up, and then using Shadow Word Death whenever you can. Outside of that, in Void form, you just want to cast Void Eruption whenever you can for the extra damage increase and haste increase. And, yeah, use Void Bolt whenever you can. Don't know what half my abilities are called, to be honest. I just know what they do. So again, Void Eruption, use Void Bolt here for the damage. You want to use Void Bolt on cooldown, just like Mind Blast. Whenever it is up, I'm going to get sapped here. I'm going to go on the Demon Hunter here because the monk did use Karma. And again, just Mind Blast on cooldown, Void Bolt. And again, put my dots up, Mind Blast, Void Bolt, Mind Blast, Silence, Mind Bomb, and Void Bolt. And I'm going to use Void Eruption here, or, what's that even called? Void Torrent, because it does a ton of damage. Don't forget about the spells. Oh yeah, you can dispel stuff. Personally, I can't be bothered with the spells. That's a healer's job, and I'm not a healer. If you can't tell, I really don't like healing. It's just part of me. Like, healing just dulls the soul to me. I don't know. I don't like it. OP, what are you doing, man? So I'm going to try to explain kind of talents a little bit more in depth. I take this just because it reduces... It pretty much gives you instant Mind Blast a shit ton, so that's why I use it. I use Body and Soul because the movement speed mixed with the heal from Void Shield is very strong. And offensive dispels, I'm talking about offensive dispels too. You can use offensive dispels on stuff that actually needs to be spelled, like Icy Veins or like any of the kind of important stuff like that, but again, you should have that on your bar, but admittedly, I don't even use it that much, so it's pretty much up to the player. And Void Origins makes your Void Eruption instant cast pretty self-explanatory there. Psychic Link is also nice because any target afflicted by your Shadow Word Pain will take some Mind Blast damage. I'm going to silence that Full Moon, throw a Siphon on him for the healing reduction, and get all this damage out, and he's probably just going to fall over here. And again, we'll apply dots to this priest. Gonna probably Mind Bomb here for the stun. And again, he's dead because he just took a lot of damage there. I don't know how else to explain it. And you can also Mass Dispel Bubble, and most of the stuff you most of the time won't be able to actually dispel. So that's Shadow Priest, guys. So Shadow Priest in review is put up your dots, use Mind Blast on cooldown. Whenever you're in Void form, use Void Bolt on cooldown. Whenever Void Eruption can be cast, use Void Eruption. And apply dots to everyone, and try not to let your dots fall off. Okay, body appears out of nowhere. Reasonable. Don't know where this guy is. Imagine he's going to try to run through the left side of the map again, as he has the past 5 times now, but don't think that's really going to change anything, dude. We'll see what happens. He's on the roof. We'll just camp the graveyard. I mean, I'm bored. I'm bored enough to camp their graveyard. Happens every now and then. I'm gonna Mind Bomb him just so he can't get away. Gonna put a Siphon on him. He is stunned. I'm gonna use Mind Blast on him. Hopefully I'll get a reset. Use Void Eruption, Mind Blast, Void Bolt. And I'll throw dots on this monk as well. Gonna slow him with Mind Flay just so my teammates can get to him. You'll see I did Mind Flay, but he still did get away. I don't know where this rogue is. He's just on the top. Okay. So, back to their graveyard. And we'll try and get a fight here in their graveyard as well. And again, put my dots up. I'm gonna slow this guy that's the dragon so he can actually, you know, be slowed. Maybe we'll actually do something here. Just kidding. My dots will hit a decent amount. You'll see Vampiric Touch and Shadow Word Pain probably hit to 100,000 each. How old am I? 20. I know I look like a 35-year-old man. I'm sorry. Feels bad. Feels good, actually. That means I'll just be a DILF before any of you. It's the main goal of mine.
Yeah, boy!
Let's see. All Might, thanks for the follow, man. We'll go on the monk here. Dang, interrupted me. Gonna use Power Word Shield. And again, just kind of kite. Use Void Torrent here. He will most likely use Karma, so that's gonna suck. I'm just gonna disperse the Karma and that Storm, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and we win. So, Shadow Priest, it's pretty much just, it's put your Vampiric Touch, put your Shadow Word Pain on people, use Mind Blast on cooldown, use Void Eruption whenever you can, use Void Bolt on cooldown, use Void Torrent whenever you're just about to get out / pushed out of Void form, and use Shadow Word Death whenever it's available. And don't forget about your Stun and your Silence and your Disperse and your Vampiric Embrace, which will heal you I'll make a more in-depth guide because there is a little bit more to it, but it's pretty much for damage-wise. Put your dots up, Mind Blast, Void Bolt, Void Eruption, Void Torrent, and that's all you really have to do. Don't let your dots fall off. If they do fall off, just reapply them. So that's Shadow Priest. Not too hard. Like I said, I will have a guide on my channel here soon. So keep an eye out for that, guys. And what do we